Hey everyone, hope you're having an amazing day. It's RsSavage, and today I'll be showing you guys the best skill cape perks to have on your max cape, expert capes, and Anachronia Stand. So without further ado, let's get into the video. First, I want to give a quick explanation of expert capes and the Anachronia Skillcape Stand. So for those of you just looking for the perk setups, you can use the timestamps in the description to skip ahead. Expert capes are great because they allow you to store the perks of two different skill capes into one cape. Not only can these capes save you bank space, but also inventory space as well, which makes them very useful. To create an expert cape, which includes the combatants, support, gatherers, and artisans, you have to combine all the skill shards required for that cape, and skill shards can be found while training a skill that is level 99. You can also retrieve your expert skill cape shard bag from Diego's item retrieval in the bank interface. This bag just makes it easier to store all your skill shards in one place and saves bank space as well. Moving on to the Anachronia Skillcape Stand, this unlock will allow you to passively gain the perk of one of your skill capes without actually needing to wear it. I don't want to give an entire Anachronia base camp guide in this video because it would just take too long, so a quick answer would be to upgrade your player lodge to tier 3, and if you would like to learn more about the Anachronia base camp and the other amazing unlocks it provides, check out the description for a link to the dedicated section on the Runescape wiki. Now it's time to get into the optimal perk setups for each of your capes. Starting with the max cape, I have chosen to infuse the strength cape with its perk that allows the dismember ability to deal 3 additional hits of damage, which of course increases DPS while using the melee combat style. And as you guys can see over here, this is the dismember ability for those of you who are not familiar. And moving on, we have the next perk in the max cape, which I decided to infuse the defense cape with its perk that provides you the effects of a Potent of Life, which revives you and heals 25% of your max HP. It's important to take note that this perk has a 1-hour cooldown shared with the Sign of Life. And next, lastly, I have chosen to infuse the range cape with its perk to increase range ammunition special effect chance by 20% because of course this will increase DPS while using the range combat style with certain ammunition such as Ruby Backcriminal Bolts and Hydrix Bolts E, which I personally use the most. And if you guys didn't already know, your max cape perks actually transfer over to your kiln capes or igneous capes, as you guys can see right here, which I have, which is absolutely amazing because you get that awesome stat boost for your selective style, and you also get the perks as well. Then for the Anachronia Skillcape Stand, I've chosen the Constitution Cape for its perk, which doubles a base health regeneration. This perk becomes very useful when paired with the speedy regen that banks give you, and normally entering a bank or using a bank chest heals 500 life points per second when you are not in combat. However, when you use the Constitution Cape's perk, you can simply stand in front of the bank chest, like the one at Warrior's Retreat, and regen 1000 life points per second while being in combat. This setup also prevents you from wasting your Sign of Life for the hour because if you need to die for some reason, you can just take off your cape and avoid the hassle of traveling to Anachronia to take your cape off the stand every time. Now, I go bossing often and switch between the range and melee combat styles frequently, so this setup works perfectly for me, but if you guys do a bit more skilling than combat or only use one combat style, I would suggest replacing one of the perks with the Invention Cape, which provides a bonus charge drain rate reduction, and if you have the 120 Invention Cape, use that instead to also gain an increased chance of receiving components when disassembling. This will save you some money, reducing the amount of divine charges you will use, but it wouldn't be worth switching this cape back and forth because the effects are not significant enough to outweigh the cost of the cape, which is not given back to you when you already have infused it into the max cape. Now, below the igneous capes are the expert capes, and these capes are certainly situational depending on what you're working towards and what you like to do, but nevertheless, I will show you guys my setup and explain some of the reasoning behind it. First is the Combatant's Cape, which I have infused the Summoning Cape into for the chance to not consume a charm when infusing pouches, alongside infusing the Magic Cape for the ability to spellbook swap at banks. And there's no specific reason for the Summoning Cape, I just chose it because none of the other combat perks were beneficial in my situation, so on the occasion of training summoning to 120 during double XP, this can be useful. Next is the Support Cape, which I have infused the Slayer Cape into for the ability to teleport to available Slayer Masters, alongside infusing the Dungeoneering Cape for the ability to teleport to available resource dungeons. Also, if you guys have the 120 capes for these, obviously use them instead to gain the additional benefits, but remember, not all 120 capes have extra perks, so don't waste your money infusing slightly more expensive capes if you don't have to. Then next here is the Gatherer's Cape, which I have infused the Archaeology Cape into for the ability to change relic powers at the bank, alongside infusing the 120 Farming Cape for the ability to increase health and happiness of my player-owned farm animals by 20% once a day. Lastly here, the Artisan's Cape, which I have infused the 120 Herblore Cape into for its ability to create overloads, supreme overloads, and elder overloads in batches of 5 using 20% fewer ingredients, alongside infusing the Runecrafting Cape for the ability to find out the 3rd rune for daily Viswax runs. Well, that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you did enjoy. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section, and I would be happy to answer them for you. But other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.